What's up, everybody? Hi, how you doing? Today I got something which I thought might be funny. You know, I see all those 10 things about Germany and what I learned while I was in Germany and whatnot videos. I know they're kind of old, but anyway, popping up everywhere on YouTube. Like, everyone seems to do this, and the most people that do this are actually like Americans or something. So I thought, I'm a German native, why not give it a go? So today I'm gonna watch some of those videos, and then I'm gonna talk about what the statements are in the video and whatnot, and give a little comment about that as a German native. Okay, let's go with this.
What's up, everybody? We are Deana and Phil. Deana is from the United States and I am from Germany. And in this video, we're going over 16 things that you should not do in Germany.
Alright, so some of these things are a little more serious and some of them are going to be pretty funny, so let's just get right into it.
Alright, number one, you should never recycle, wrong, or throw away your Pfand.
Pfand!
So Germany is a pretty green country and people tend to take their recycling pretty serious. So if you're here, you should not just throw everything in one bucket, but separate it between plastic, metal, paper, rest, and all that good stuff. I don't even know how many there are.
So Pfand is a deposit where you pay a little extra on bottles or cans, and you'll usually return them at a little machine in the supermarkets where you get a voucher and your money back for doing a good thing. So never throw away your Pfand bottle. Pfand!
Okay, so first things first, while there is actually a huge variety of like different bins for like cardboard, or we have extra glass container and then we separate it from green to brown glass and whatnot, and we do also have this a blue container for paper, and we have a yellow which is for plastics and stuff like plastic bins or packaging. We have a green container which is for biodegradable waste. We have a brown one. Now, brown is for biodegradable and like green is for normal household trash. But to be real, while it is good to separate, like the city or the council comes and collects all the garbage with a garbage truck, and then they separate it in a special facility anyway. So while it takes away a lot of work, all the trash gets separated anyway. So you, for example, if you live in a huge like apartment building, I'm pretty damn sure there is not every recycling or not every bin option available. The blue one you even have to buy yourself. So it's not like you get that sponsored, but you have to buy it. And not everyone separates their trash. Most Germans are really strict about that. I don't even know why we are. And I may sound like lazy, but no, I don't do that. And I'm pretty damn sure a lot of Germans don't do that. We do tend to separate, but not that hugely. And it also depends on your living situation. If you're living in a, let's say, more common or not wealthy enough region or neighborhood, then you would normally not find that they're separating their waste in any way, sort of form. We even had a period where there were wild garbage bins, or like wild garbage collection points, garbage piles, wild garbage piles, popping up everywhere, because we had so many people come in Germany from this whole migration wave that was going on, that they didn't know how to separate the waste, and they just kind of like threw it in the streets, and the whole neighborhood just went with it. I think that has dropped down a certain degree, but that was also a thing in Germany. So while we tend to be strict about that, you really don't have to stress about that much. If you're not familiar with it, you should try, but don't overreact. And the fund is, that's actually a thing. You pay your little fee while you like buy a can. If you were to buy, let's say, a Red Bull or a Coke, both of these actually have 25 cents as the fund, which you pay in advance while you're buying it, so you pay the regular price, and on top of that, the 25 cents, but then you can bring them back to certain spots, like where you bought them. There are containers and machines that you can put them in, and you get a little coupon, which you can then make count while shopping, or you can just get the money from the supermarket. So that's pretty neat, actually. That is pretty neat. And also, that's a lot of waste that is not being generated. Like, think about throwing away all this shit. They are all recyclable. That's a huge benefit of that. But there are, and that is to point out, if you throw them away, well, like, let's say you're walking down the street, you have a weekend, you're partying out, whatever, and you grab a Red Bull, you're not gonna take that thing away or with you like the whole evening, let's be real. You drink it and then you're just gonna throw it away. There is actually a thing in Germany where poor people, or especially older poor people, tend to search through the garbage bins and the containers or the streets in the city, and they are looking for that stuff. They are searching for your Red Bull or for your bottle or whatnot, and they are collecting them. They walk around with like shopping carts or just packages or backpacks, and they collect bottles and cans to get a little income on the side, which is sad that it's somewhat necessary, but then again, everyone can do that. It's not illegal. Like, you're just collecting waste, so that is actually a legal thing to do and can be pretty beneficial, I think. So if you're ever out in the streets in Germany and you have like a Red Bull, or you have a can, or you have a bottle, please don't throw them directly in the bin, just put them on the side, like right next to it. Everyone will be happy, and the person who may collect them for you will be thankful.
Number 2, you should never drive on the left or the middle lane of the Autobahn. There's actually a law in place that requires you to drive on the right lane on the Autobahn at all times, unless you're overtaking somebody. So if you're not planning to go super fast and overtake a lot of people, you're required to drive on the right lane. So don't drive in the middle or the left lane slowly and block traffic, because people will get aggressive.
And honk.
That is true by the law side. But like he pointed out, this guy here, he pointed out correctly, if you are driving slow on the left side. So nobody cares if you're like driving down the highway. If you're driving down the highway with like 200 kilometers per hour, that would be 124.27 miles per hour. So if you're like in that range, or something a little lower, like let's say 100 miles per hour, around that range, and nobody behind you is coming up with a higher speed, it is okay to stay on the left lane on the Autobahn or on the highway. The middle one is usually the ones most of the people tend to take, because there's been a huge traffic outcome regarding trucks and basically container trucks, and you know, for shipping, like Amazon stuff or regular shipping. So all the trucks tend to drive on the right side of the highway. The normal cars normally tend to drive in the middle lane, depending on where you are. And if you're like hasty or you want to get somewhere fast, then you can take the left one on the on the highway. But yeah, please, if someone behind you is rushing you and he comes up with a way fast speed, please get your ass over on the right side of the highway. But besides that, if you're the fastest one or you're just hasty and you want to, like you said, you want to overtake someone, then you shouldn't worry about using the left side of the highway. You can speed it, but we have actually really, like, Germany's not that free in the regards of we have free highways everywhere. That's not true. When you're driving in the city or you're driving where I live, which is in NRW, which is like the Ruhrgebiet, is an urban area. There we have stricter rules regarding the highway. So there's normally, you can drive around 120 kilometers, which would be 75 miles per hour. That is the highest you can take before free limit. And besides that, we have like 80 kilometers per hour and whatnot. But that's the normal case. So don't hesitate to take the left side. Don't worry, and you don't have to like rush straight to the right as soon as you're finished overtaking someone. I think that's wrong. Overtaking sounds so wrong. Like, overtake, really? It is overtake. Or pass, it's pass. Oh my god, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so don't hesitate to like stay on the left or on the middle lane as soon as you pass someone. If you're the fastest car around, no one will bat an eye. No one will care. So that's completely fine.
Don't walk in the bicycle lanes. In Germany, there are a lot of different bicycle lanes in and out of the city, and especially in student towns, there'll be a lot of bikers. So don't walk in them. Walk in the pedestrian zones or a sidewalk. That's what they're for.
Well, that is actually completely correct, but I think that counts for every country. Then again, no one would bat an eye if there is no bicycle or bicycler around, so you can just cross them or whatever. But yeah, common sense tells me I wouldn't walk right on the street, so I wouldn't walk right on the bicycle lane, right? Right.
4. Do not address strangers using their first name. It is kind of funny, but in Germany, for the word you, if you address somebody, we have two versions. There is du and there is sie, and sie is a polite version. It also implies that sie, you're on a last name basis. So that is the polite version to use. And if you meet somebody for the first time, or especially an elder person, you use the polite form. You do not use their first name. You are on a last name basis and use the sie instead of the du. And if you get to know a person very well and you're on a friend basis, on a first name basis, then it's fine to use the first name and the du. Du Deana.
Dodiana.
That is really true, actually. But I think it's funny. They are saying like, so here she's asking her, what's your name? But in the polite form, so the last name form. And then the other woman replies with the first name. So that would be like wrong. So that's actually pretty funny. Like, what's your name in the business term? And she answers, hi, I'm Luke. Hi. You know, that I wouldn't say that. That would be my last name, or that would be her last name in that regard. So that is that is actually a nice picture, but wrong use here. And on top of that, when I walk up to a stranger in the streets and I would go, hey, do you know what time it is? Or if you're trying to approach them in German, that would be wissen Sie what time it is. But that is not, well, that is also kind of regarding how old the person you're talking to is. If I were to, or like the age difference. Let's see, I'm 24. When I go up to someone that is around my age or even younger, or I think they are, then I would normally approach them with, hey, do you know, like, hi, weißt du, wie spät wir haben? It would be weird to say, wissen Sie. It is okay and it is polite, but it is not common. Talking on a stranger on the street, especially when it's an older one or in any business terms, just stay with the polite term. That's confusing. Like du and sie, but in English it's like you and you. And that's really confusing. But the last name term, like in normal businesses or any business related things, except you know the person well enough, or they allowed you to use the you form, like the informal term, then stick with the last name always. Expect they offered you otherwise. That makes sense. Yeah. Next one.
5. Don't use public transportation without a ticket. A lot of the public transportation systems are controlled a lot, and there'll be men and women who just appear once the ride has started to check on everyone to see if they have a ticket.
Yeah, they're undercover. And the fines are usually kind of high or out of proportion with the ticket prices.
Yeah.
A number I always have in my mind is 60 euros, but nowadays it might be even more, like 80 or 100.
It's not worth it.
That is completely true. You should, okay, they're like this monthly tickets. If you're staying in Germany for a longer period of time, then you should get a monthly ticket that is allowing you to use in a certain region or drive in a certain region whenever, whatever you want. That is regarding on the ticket you got. But besides that, always get a ticket. You may be lucky and you may not get control, but it is not really worth the risk. A normal ticket would cost you $3.50, or depending if you're like short distance or long distance, if you have a bicycle with you or not, that would be somewhere between 2 to like, let's say 6 euros. Or longer, depending on the range or the distance. They can be pretty pricey, but if you get caught, it's called black driving in German. So when you get caught driving or taking a ride without a ticket, you will get fees up to 80 euros. And that is not worth it. Done it. I think everybody's done it. If you lost a ticket, you lost your monthly ticket, you don't have money on you, whatever. But it is not worth it. Been there, done that. Don't do it. There's no need for it. You can just buy a ticket for 250 euros. That's 5 cans.
And this is a little bit more of a serious one. You should never show the Nazi salute or joke about Nazis in Germany. Of course, because of the history in Germany, it's kind of a forbidden thing to do. And most of the Germans nowadays were kind of raised by this post-World War II anti-Nazi generation. If another person comes to the country and does anything Nazi related, it's so out of our minds that it's so weird that the world still thinks that. So that's quite offensive, and you should never ever do that. And by the way, the same thing also applies to sing the old version of the national anthem.
Yes,
and I think around
it
the world
is.
a couple of people still think that might be it. And it's the one with the Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. That is the Nazi anthem. You're not allowed to sing that anymore. The real one is Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit, blah blah blah. That's the newer national anthem, and that's the only one that's supposed to be sung in Germany.
Okay, that is actually really weird that they point that one out, but it is actually illegal in Germany to do the Nazi salute. So not only shouldn't you do it because, well, people tend to not react good. I wouldn't recommend it in any way. Let's take me, for example, or like my generation. We grew up in Germany in the school and we had the whole theme, the whole Nazi regime over and 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 over again. Everything we did in history class, like 80% of it was all Nazi. That was all Hitler and that was all the Third Reich. That's all we did. Like 80% of our history classes are filled to the top with the Second World War. Real talk. You should never do that. Anywhere, not with your friends, not for fun, not in public, especially not in public. That is insulting and yeah, it is actually forbidden. So when the police comes by and sees that you can get a fee for that, that is possible. I don't know if that's actually just a fee or they're just gonna tell you, hey, you don't have to do that, or you are not allowed to do that. I've never done that, and I would highly not recommend you doing that anywhere or anytime in your stay or during your stay in Germany. Don't. Just don't. It's not good for you. Just that thing even has to be pointed out. Like, do people still think that we greet each other that way? Really? I don't think so. But anyway, don't do it.
Evan, don't gossip in English in public. Most Germans have a very decent grasp of English and they'll probably understand you. I know it's very common when people go to other countries, they tend to gossip in another language. I've heard it spoken in different languages all the time, and it's a little uncomfortable and embarrassing when other people understand you. So to avoid uncomfortable situations like that, gossip behind their back.
What can I say? That's true. Like most German, maybe the older generation, you'll get lucky while gossiping, but anyone, let's say like in their 40s or lower, will have a decent amount of English knowledge and they will understand what you're saying. So
8. You should never disrespect the German quiet hours. So every day, or rather every night, from 10 p.m. till 6 or 7 a.m. the next morning, in Germany, by law, there are quiet hours. So you're not supposed to like play loud music, do construction or anything like that. Most of the country kind of abides by that rule, which means there's very little noise pollution during the night when you're trying to sleep or relax. And I think it's a kind of a nice thing. So if you do that, the Germans probably will call the police on you because they think they're in the right and they do that and the police knocks and like, turn it down. Never ever disrespect the quiet hours.
I actually never thought about that. That is not normal. But he's got a point, you know? Yeah, he's right. You can turn the volume up, kind of. It actually, like you said, depends on your neighborhood. If I were to turn down or turn up my music, let's say at midnight or 1 a.m. And would turn it really loud, I'd probably get the police on my ass, yeah. They're just knocking on your door and then telling you, hey, you have to shut it down, be quiet, and have a good one, and then they'll leave. But if they get called on you like twice or 3 times in an evening, they will be pretty pissed. So you shouldn't do that. But if you inform your neighbors, let's say you have a birthday party and you just tell them in advance, hey, you know what, guys, gonna have a party for my birthday. There are like 10 to 20 people coming around, so would be nice. I'm sorry if it could be loud. We're trying to keep it down, but it could happen that it's a little bit louder. I apologize in advance, and then most likely no one's gonna say anything about that because you told them and not call the police. Depending. You should keep it quiet. Just to be nice to your surrounding people. Is it common for you guys? Is that common? In other countries of the world? Is it normal to have quiet hours? For me that was always super normal. I never thought about that. The most people tend to sleep or tend to, like you said, relax at night. I never thought about that. Is that normal in other countries? Is that normal in your country? Please reply with a comment.
Rely on credit card payments. In Germany, there's still a lot of things that are pretty cash-based, and sometimes your credit card will even be rejected from a stall, a bakery, or a vendor. So it's important to note and make sure you have cash on you.
And that is also somewhat true. That changed a bit during Corona because there were many businesses that were not allowed to take cash, or just generally said that they wouldn't take cash to protect their cashiers. So nowadays you can actually like pay with your phone most of the time. Not everywhere, but most of the time you can pay with your phone, with a credit card, or just hold your card on. The payment method where you just hold your card like and it automatically books from your bank account. So it can happen that you go to a bakery, for example, and you can't pay with card, so you should most of the time have a little bit of cash on you. But let's say ticket machines, or you can pay with a credit card, or with at least with your normal Giro card. There should be no problem, but it's always good to have some cash on you.
Number 10, don't expect small talk. If you're from the South and you're used to the good old Southern American small talk, that's not gonna happen. And it's not trying to be rude, it's just a cultural difference. So don't expect to chat with a random stranger about the weather or something.
This is so true, and that is so sad. Oh my god, I hate this. This is one thing about Germany which I always hated. You cannot go to someone, like you can go to someone, but the people react so differently. If I were in Australia and I would go to someone like, hey, you know what time it is? You would be like, yeah, it's like 10 p.m, it's nice weather, you would grab a beer, I'm gonna pay, come on with me, hey, how you doing, what you doing here, whatever. Germans are so strict about that. When you go to someone, normally the reaction is, even if you just ask them for the time, or like for a lighter, if you want to like light a cigarette or whatever, they're gonna look at you first glance and be like, does this dude wanna rob me? No matter where you are, you can be in a public place, at the train station, I'm sorry, and they'd be like, what do you want from me? It's yeah, well, 5 p.m. Is there anything else I can do for you? Okay, can you please go? That is so unkind. I hate that. I hate that in Germany. That is annoying. That's also a thing I love most about southern countries, or any other country I've ever been in, other than Germany. People were nice to each other. You could talk to a stranger on the streets and you'd have a drink with him, or something like that. Something, anything. Or they would just react nice. They would just be like, yeah, mate, no problem. 6 p.m. What are you up to? Heading to work? No, Germans are fucktards. Sorry. But damn, please Germans, everyone watching this, be nice. Please Germans, be nice. I hate this. I hate this. You probably would get lucky with most of the younger generation again, because I think, or I feel like it, there is a whole switch happening in terms of our general behavior regarding our environment and regarding other people. Anyway, yeah. So that is sadly the truth.
11 is do not expect free water anywhere. So if you're used to the American way, you go to a restaurant and the waiter comes right away with a nice bucket of cold ass water and refills you for free all evening long. That is not a thing in Germany and you should not expect that. I think it's quite of a dumb thing, but water in German restaurants is quite expensive and most of the times even bubbly.
Sprudelwasser.
So in some places you could actually ask for tap water and potentially get it for free, but a lot of places don't even do that, and if they do, it might be a little frowned upon, but in general you should not expect free water everywhere.
That is, again, completely true.
Number 12. Do not enter a house with your shoes on. So all around Germany, it's pretty common to take off your shoes if you enter somebody else's house. Or at least you should ask if you should take your shoes off. And sometimes they say, no, you don't have to. But a lot of times people take their shoes off right at the entrance, leave them there, and then just walk around in your socks.
Leave your dirty shoes in the front.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious how many of the households do that. I would say the majority of the households in Germany do that thing and do not walk around with their shoes on. Maybe let us know in the comments below if you had to take your shoes off at your parents' house or how you do it at the moment.
Like you just saw, I tend to walk around in socks as well, and that is completely normal. You should, like he said again, at least ask in advance. Be like, hey, should I take my shoes off while I'm walking around? And they'll be like, yeah, please, just put them there. Or they'll be like, oh, you don't have to, it's alright. And then you just follow what you get said.
13. Don't give advance birthday wishes. Even if it's a day before someone's birthday and you will not see them on their birthday, do not wish them a happy birthday.
It's not their birthday yet.
I learned that after coming to Germany. You are not allowed to wish them a happy birthday until on their birthday or after their birthday.
Yeah, and I was surprised to learn in the US that a lot of people do that actually.
Some people will have a party a week in advance if that just works with their schedule.
So much bad luck.
So much bad luck. Yeah, that's it is said that it brings bad luck if you do give birthday wishes out in advance, so don't do that. Later is alright, it's fine. You can do it a day later or like even a week later, that's no problem. But in advance it's not it is not liked.
14 is kind of a very serious one. You should never ever expect to be dressed in a sauna on every beach. Alright, this is kind of a funny one, we just wanted to throw that in there. In Germany, in a sauna, usually you are naked. You go in with a towel and then you take it off or whatever, but you are actually not allowed to wear any clothing. If you wear clothing in there, people can get the whatever security or supervisors and they'll throw you out or make you undress.
You must be naked.
Yeah, there are also parts of beaches in Germany that are especially for nakedness, nudity.
Beaches.
Yeah, nude beaches. We call it FKK, Freikörperkultur. And on these beaches, you have to be naked. It's not allowed to wear any clothes.
Like fully naked?
Yeah, fully naked.
Yeah, so I've yet to go to a nude beach or a nude sauna, but I'm open to it.
Oh ho! Should I be concerned?
Why? Just gonna be a whole bunch of older people.
Okay, that again is like a kind of situation. While there are saunas, and the majority of them, you are expected to be undressed. There are actually ones where you can like take or leave your clothes on, or you'll get a towel beforehand while entering. They can be, or most of the time actually, they are gender spread. So you have like a woman's sauna and a man's sauna. And regarding the FKKs, which is nudity beaches, they exist in Germany, but they are really rare. Like you're not gonna straight up walk to a beach and just find yourself surrounded by naked people. That's not gonna happen. They will give you a look if you walk around dressed up, but you won't get kicked out of the beach or anything, like if you're just passing by. So that's fine, and you will not find yourself just randomly walking around naked people. That's not a thing.
15, don't abandon your shopping cart. I feel like in the US sometimes there'll be shopping carts spread throughout the parking lot and they'll just be like a shopping cart ghost town. In Germany, that is not the case. You need a coin to access a cart, and you also want your coin back, so you have to return the cart to get your coin back. And it's a good system, it's nice, and there's not abandoned shopping carts everywhere.
You guys leave your shopping carts around? What is wrong with you? Seriously, what is wrong with you? Don't do that. No, we take the shopping carts back to where we took them. Take your shopping carts back to where you took them from. That's nice. Also, there are cars driving around the parking lot and people walking around. That's just unnecessary. Take them where you took them from, and you get your coin back. Even though those things are worth like hundreds of dollars for €1, so that's a good price. But you won't be able to sell that to anyone. But to be fair and square, it did actually happen, or it does actually happen from time to time, that you find some shopping cars in the city. That can be a thing when people, not me, definitely not me or my friends a few years ago, when you were partying out and you can just like take a shopping cart, we have plenty of fun with it. That's the thing. But be so kind and take it back afterwards at least.
Number 16 is, in Germany, you should not jaywalk.
We ain't in New York City.
Yeah.
What even is jaywalk?
Yeah, but we're kind of in Berlin, so let's say you should not, but a lot of people still do it. Although I think the majority of the people kind of follow the rules and they do not jaywalk. You should always cross where the little traffic light is, and then only when the green mannequin, not the red one. And it's not that hardly persecuted, but you can actually get fined if you get caught in the act jaywalking. So the police sees you, gets you, and I don't know how much it is, 5, 10, 20 euros, something like that. So you should not jaywalk in Germany.
Yeah, it's true. You can get a fine for that. I think it's about 20 euros. If you get caught in the act of jaywalking. I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it is. But it is normal. You just take a look to the right, to the left, see if there's a car coming or a cycler coming, and then you just cross the road. That's normal behavior. So no one would look weird at you if you were to do that. If you can, you should, or if you're not in a rush, you should take the traffic lights. Yeah.
Alright, so those were our 16 things that you
we're
should
finished.
not do if you go to Germany. Let us know in the comments below if you can think about any other things that you shouldn't do in Germany. Also, maybe you've been to Germany and some things of these might have happened to you.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna leave a link down in the description of the video. That is Deana and Phil. Go ahead, visit the video, leave a like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you are interested in more of that content stuff. Leave a comment, let me know. I actually can think about one more thing. You shouldn't sing out loud publicly. Have a good one. I hope you had fun. Like I said, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the video or the video concept, and have a great day. Bye. Wubba-lubba-dub-dub. Have a good one, guys.